I thought this movie they were gonna lose. I really thought they might lose. Thought their whole planet was gonna get eaten and they were gonna show up in the Thunderbolts world, right? It's multiversal. Why not? But I'm okay with it that it didn't. I do feel like the plot was a little predictable and kind of simplistic, but all of the packaging is great and all of these characters make it really interesting and are top-notch actors of their trade right now. This movie is above and beyond, and I feel like Marvel is back, and I'm intrigued at where we're going next. The fact that we see Doomsday in the aftermath here, like, it's gonna work for me. There's a lot of elements at play, and I like that there's so many characters, but the fact that we just have a good Fantastic Four movie beats all of that out of the water. Vanessa Kirby is so good and actually makes this movie, and she is the glue that pulls it all together. Pedro Pascal, I mean, literally in everything he does well, except maybe Gladiator 2. I felt like he kind of phoned that in. But besides that, he's awesome, and, oh shoot. Johnny Storm's name. Joseph Quinn. And I already knew Ebba Mouse Backrack because I love the bear. But, so, okay, Joseph Quinn is, Quiet Place, Day One, and, shoot, what else was he in? What else did I see him in recently? Guys, Stranger Things, man. Golly. He's freaking Billy, right? No, Eddie. He's Eddie, dude. It's a good thing I can look things up really quick, and Google's amazing. But okay, so this cast kills it. The fact that they play on the family element is indicative of the massive amount of like familial pandemic or endemic or whatever you want to call it that we have in this country today. And I think that there's evidence across our art forms, particularly movies, that shows how much we care about our familial relationships. The fact that we can rebuild them, the fact that we can destroy them, the fact that we can be selfish or not unselfish. In the other two reviews I've done this week, Eddington has got a whole bunch of familial elements. There's basically a non-divorce divorce in it, and if you look at Together as a movie, as a familial movie, that's also very intriguing, which you should watch my review on that if you haven't. And then this particular movie, Fantastic Four, being a familial relationship based thing is what makes it interesting. So I guess I'm trying to touch on like what is happening in our art. Is it a reaction to some sort of lack of familial connection? Is it a reaction to the, isolation via social media? Is it just that we've always been familiar in our relationships as humans, and so, the underlying symbolism and effectiveness of a narrative is based in those, connections across people? I mean, it could be any of these things, but it definitely has brought up that question, right? The Fantastic Four has not worked in the past. It's been a little shocky. It's been a little bit cringe, like hasn't really been effective. But now we're putting this family spin on it, and we're also saying, each one of these people is their own character that has their own motivations and is intriguing and is helpful to this team mentality. And because they're a team, they're also a family, and then they're literally family also, which helps. So it just pulls that together. But all of that is glued together by not only Vanessa Kirby's performance, but the fact that she has a kid, right? That is what pushes this to being a really intriguing, thought-provoking story. And like I said before, it's predictable, the simple, like, we're gonna beat the bad guy and we're gonna get him pushed away and she's gonna give her life for it, but come back because her son saves her. And I don't know what that is. I don't read the comics and I don't know what his powers are or whatever, but that's incredible. But yeah, so that whole, process of like beating the bad monster guy that's gonna eat the earth, it's like fine, whatever. But it's the packaging that makes this movie good. The 60s stuff, the fact that it's still Marvel, but it's in that separate universe, the acting between all four of them and the way that they interact, all of these things make that movie intriguing and interesting. And then my favorite thing about this is the score. If you want a masterclass in arranging for music, you start with John Williams, but you know who his protege was? Michael Giacchino. And you know what he did in this movie? He freaking took 4 notes and made them work in every situation throughout the film, and using literally the syllables of Fantastic Four in vocalizations with a choir, and then using that throughout the film just pulls it all together and makes it super interesting and easy to understand. And oh man, it's just so well done. But you should go back and listen if you didn't really think too heavily about it, and listen for that 4-note sequence and how he flips it and turns it around and makes it interesting throughout every scene of the movie. And where he pulls those in and why he uses certain versions of it is really, really freaking cool. And as a person with a little bit of a music background, like, it just blows my mind how good he is at what he does. You look for those leitmotifs in the Avengers, right? When you get the Endgame portal scene and like you kind of hear some of these things kind of coalesce, and you get the Avengers theme in full swing, and like all that stuff is because they laid it out in the beginning and then they pulled it forward as you went deeper into the story. Well, that's what's happening here. You're getting this beautiful theme we're going to see used over and over and over again, especially once we get to the next Avengers film. So I think it's building us up for good moments because that music is just so good. It's going to be iconic. Anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on Fantastic Four. I loved it. I think it almost is like pushing masterpiece level, but I don't know. Something was missing, and I don't know if you guys can help me picture or pinpoint whatever that is, but there's definitely something that doesn't make it great. It's just really good. This movie was above and beyond, and I'm looking forward to them continuing in the MCU. I'm looking forward to the rest of the MCU. Are you guys? Do you guys think that we're getting tired of these movies? Do you think they're doing a good reset, this new phase, starting with Thunderbolts? I don't know. Let me know. Hit me down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.